30 mats. Does he hit the clip?
Is this what you're looking for?
Thinking out loud.
Oh god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Let's go, big shot! Over here.
This is everything that I ever wanted. Loco, I've been acting crazy.
Yo, what's up guys, I'm back with another highlights video tutorial. You will need Sapphire and BCC plugins. There's a link in the description with videos to go download the plugins, and I recommend using Vegas Pro 16. Use Vegas Pro 16. For the intro, you're gonna need Adobe After Effects, and there's a link in the description on how to download After Effects. Alright, so first you're gonna want to download Adobe After Effects. The tutorial to download that is in the description. Just go to that. You're gonna want to download the plugins, the Sapphire and Universe plugins for it, and also the two fonts. All that will be linked in the description. You're gonna want to go to the second link after that. It will take you to this Google Drive form. You're gonna want to right click this and then click download and let it download. Alright, once it's open, it's gonna look something like this. So you can leave it like this if you want and just have it like this. And if this is what you want, all you gotta do to change the number is double click right here and go to the text, select this, and type in 13 or whatever you want it to be. What I do, and I have this all caps in the background red, and then I have this red as well. I'll tell you how to do it. If you want to make this all caps, you're gonna want to double click on highlights. You'll select all of it and type in highlights, all caps. Same for the second highlights. It'll scroll over it, you type and then type in highlights again. Make sure the second one is all highlighted, the yellow one, and then go up here till you see this, click it, and you can make it red or whatever color. I like to do red. And boom, that's how you get it all caps. And if you want to make this red, you're gonna want to double click 21, highlight all this, go to the blue, and I have my own color code to make it dark red, and then click OK. But you might be like, why does it look purple? It's because click the arrow right there, the arrow right there, and the arrow right there. Go down, and right here, you're gonna want to change the glow effects. So I'm gonna paste in the same number, and boom, there you go. Now it's all red. You can make it whatever color you want, but this is my intro. All right, so you're gonna want to exit out of all this, so click that arrow right there, and you're gonna want to go into a solo, go by the spot where you want to get your cinematic, and then go in replay mode and then record a nice cinematic from it. And once you have the cinematic, drag it into After Effects, and you can drag it into right there. Just put it in right there, and then you're gonna want to drag it to the very bottom like that. What I like to do and what you should do. So drag this to right there, and now as you can see, this part's right there, so you're gonna want to drag this to that edge, drag this right there, and you want to make sure this is on that edge. So make sure they're in a perfect line of how they were, but there's just a little open space ahead of it. Now drag this to the beginning and keep on dragging this all the way over. I'm new to After Effects, so I don't know an easier way to do this, but keep on dragging it until you get to the beginning of your cinematic. So the beginning of my cinematic is right here, so you're gonna want to let it just render it out. So you're gonna want it just to render the frames real quick. All right guys, the final effect for this intro is to make the background more contrasty. So go up here to effects and presets, go to right here and type in curves. Now you'll see color correction curves. You can just drag it right onto the background, and once you're here, what I usually do, you drag this line up to like around there and drag this up. So drag this, like, see, it goes crazy, right? So it can go all the way to that. So you drag this like somewhere around there. You can keep it going, but it's just something like this at the end of the day. Just make it look contrasty and cool. All right, so don't worry about the end, like cutting the end. Like, it's fine. It just plays. It's just gonna render this once you render it. Now to render all this, go up to the top to composition, click add to render queue, go to the very bottom, uncheck these two, just have the very bottom one, and then go to the very bottom one, click lostness, and then make the format QuickTime, and the channels RGB plus alpha. Now click OK, and then render, and then let it render. Alright guys, so once you got the intro downloaded, just drag it in, and if this pops up, click yes. Now click on the top part of the clip, click on the video portion of the clip, and then click Control U, and then delete the audio portion. I just have the video portion. Alright, next you're gonna want to find a good AUX song, and a really good AUX song right now and the song that I want to use right now, and it's a really good AUX song, is Whoopty. So I'm gonna drag it in. Alright, so drag in your beat drop clip and cut it right before it ends, and now drag it to the beat drop, and make sure you mark the beat drop. So here's the beat drop for the song. So I'm gonna mark the beat drop, and now make sure all right on the marker of the beat drop, it's on the frame right before the pellets. See the pellets? You want it the frame right before, right there. And you want to see how long the clip is. So go until the clip first starts. So this clip is pretty long, so it starts right here, I think. and the clip starts right there. Now you're gonna want to figure out where to put the intro. Now you're gonna want to figure out where to put the intro in the song. So let the beginning of the song play out. Alright, now if you want to drag everything to a certain left or right, what you're going to do is click Control A, and then you can just drag it. So boom, it starts right here. If you have done this intro, if you want to add like a cool little velocity on it, right click this, insert envelope velocity, click velocity, and then go 20 frames in. 20 frames in, double click to add a dot right here. Go to the first dot, right click, set to 230. A cool effect that I like to do, if you did that velocity, you have to do this. Drag the edge of this over 18. You'll see it go over 18 times like that. Just have it go over 18 times. So go to transitions and search up Swoosh pen. Find it, drag it on, and here's my transition preset if you want to copy it. If you copy it, make sure to name it and then save it. It should look like this. It just goes in like that. Alright, now while you're at it, mark the second beat drop. So that's the second beat drop right here. So mark it. So now you get a good idea of where to end the clip. So you can end the clip around right here. Alright, now what you're gonna want to do to this clip. Alright, now what you can do is do what I like to do is right click properties, and I check off maintain aspect ratio and disable resample. If you play stretch resolution, you have to uncheck this. But for sure, click disable resample. Right now, what you're gonna want to do is add velocity. So you click right click, insert envelope velocity, double click right on the marker, and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames to the right, double click, then go all the way back to the marker and go 1, 2, 3, 4 frames to the left, double click, right click on the main one and set it to 200 or 175. If you want to set it to 175, right click, set to 175, but I like 200, and make sure the far right is set to 50 and keep the far left to normal. And now you can split right on the marker like that. Now click crop and crop it. Usually you can do it up to the gun bar, but sometimes I do it right under the little numbers right here. But for the sake of a beat, like the actual beat drop, I do it up to the gun bar. And go to the very end on here. You can drag this all the way back down. Alright, now you have to add the main effects. And so before you go any further, go to file, save as, and save it as whatever, but you can have it to whatever. And make sure as you're going, you click file and save as you're going. All right, so first add the normal effect, shake. Here's my shake presets if you want to copy it. I'll leave it on the screen for like 5 seconds. All right, so if you copied my settings, make sure you go up here and name it and then save it as a preset. Now what you're gonna want to do is go to amplitude, click this little animate button, go to the very end down here and drag this to 0, and do the same for flicker. Drag flicker on. If you want to copy my settings, here you go. I'll leave it up for a second. Alright, so if you copy this, make sure you name it and then save it as a preset. Now go to amplitude, click animate, go all the way down until you see flicker, go to the very end and make sure you drag this to 0. Alright, now you can add glow. So glow, you can do anything you want. Alright, so this is if and only if you're doing the shockwave effect. What you're gonna want to do is click on this, click Control C, click right here, Control V, then click Control U. Delete the audio because you don't need that, and make sure you click right here, right click, insert video track, and drag this to the top and make sure it's right above it. And now you're gonna want to right click, insert video track again. Alright, now make sure alright, so linked in the description is the shockwave effect that I use. You can use this if you want. And now once you get it, make sure you make it a little shorter. Alright, now once you get the shockwave effect, make sure it's right on the beat drop marker. And it might be too fast, so what you can do is hold control, go to the very end, and you can drag it to make it shorter, which makes it faster. And what you have to do is go to video effects and search a BCC LED and make sure you drag it on. And here's my preset if you want to copy it, but you might want to lower this a little bit. Here's my settings if you want to copy it, and if you do, make sure you name it and then save it as a preset. Right now there's your shockwave effect, and you might be like, why is there a black screen? To change that, go all the way over here, and if you don't have all of these, click on the 3 bars, click edit visible button set, click show all, then okay, and you should be able to see all these. Make sure you click on A. Or once you click on the A, go all the way down to you see. I know once you have it on lighten, make sure if you add any other shockwave effect in the video, make sure the shockwaves are only on this track now. Right now, what you can do is add. Now this is the hardest part. Make sure you stick around. Now make sure you focus on this part. What you're gonna want to do is find a spot where to add black and white. Wherever you want to start to add the black and white, or a black and white effect will start appearing. Find the spot. I'll start it right here, so I'm gonna split right there. I'm gonna go to video effects, search up black and white. I'm gonna drag it on, I'm gonna make sure it's set to 0 at first. I'm gonna click animate, click the middle, and set it to 0.8 or 0.9. I have mine set to 0.9. And then drag it on the bottom, drag black and white on the bottom track, and make sure it's set to 0.9 fully. Like the whole thing set to 0.9. Click crop on the top one. Go at the bottom and click mask. Make sure you're on the very beginning. Make sure you clicked on the bottom line on the mask part. Make sure it's checked. And now make sure you have the circle click and hold left click and drag over this and make a little circle. Now before you do anything else, make sure you go up to feather type, click in, and feather percent either 16 or 20. I like 16. And then drag this to 12 or around 12. And now go back up to here, hold control and drag this out like that. And now you can just drag this up and make a normal circle. Alright, once you make this circle, exit out of this, and you should start to see the circle effect up here. And you're gonna want to add some effects to that. So you're gonna want to add some glow. Go to glow and drag the glow onto the top. Here's my glow preset. If you want to copy it, I'll leave it up on the screen. Alright, so if you copied it, make sure you name it and then save it as a preset. Now go to brightness, animate, go all the way down to see glow, go to the very end and drag this to 0. And now you don't have to do this, but I love to add this. It's called color corrector secondary. Drag the default on, go to saturation and turn it up to around like 600 or something. That's what I like to add it at. Click animate, go all the way down to see color corrector secondary, go to the very end, highlight all this and click 1, enter. All right, one more thing to add is right click on the audio track and click insert audio track. All right, so right now you can go into the link in the description and you'll find this sound effect. It's like a swoosh sound, and drag it to like right here, and make sure the biggest spike is right on the beat drop marker. And you're gonna wanna increase the sound of the sound. You're gonna wanna increase the sound of the effect. So go over here and make it like around 2.5. Alright, boom, you have the beginning clip. Alright, boom, that's the beat drop. But make sure if you scream in your clip, which I do, go over here, click right click, insert audio track, then go to the audio, click Control U, split right here, drag this up and go till you find the scream you have. Make sure you get your full screen and fade it out like right after the last whatever, and hold control on all this and like drag it in a little bit. So you have, so if you scream, there it is, you have it dragged right there. Alright, so that was the first clip. Alright, make sure to drag your second clip on, the audio all the way to the bottom. And now split right before the kill, drag it over here, and right while you're at it, mark the third beat drop. So the third beat drop's right here, so I'm gonna mark it, and I'll go to the second beat drop marker and go all the way until you hit right before the pellets. And now go right on the, now go to the second marker and make sure it's right on the frame before the pellets. And if the song is too loud, you might want to turn up the game audio so you can turn it up a little bit. Alright, so once you have it right before the pellets, drag this all the way over to here. And so now that you marked the third beat drop, you have a good understanding of where to end this clip, so you can end it like right around here. Now right click properties, and you don't have to do this, but this is what I like to do. Uncheck maintain aspect ratio and check disable resample. Save, make sure to save as you're going. And now you're gonna want to add velocity, so right click insert invoke velocity, double click right on the marker, go 1 2 3 4 5 frames to the right, double click to add another period, another dot. Now go 1 2 now go all the way back to the marker, and then go 1 2 3 4 frames to the left, double click. Now make sure you right click and set the middle dot to either 200 or 175, and make sure you set the far right one to 50, and split right on the marker, and now click crop and crop it to like right above the little numbers. Now drag to the very end and put it all the way back down to normal. Alright, now you're going to want to add shake. I already showed you my shake settings. Go to amplitude, drag to the very end, drag this to 0. Same for flicker. I already showed you my flicker settings. Drag it on, click animate from amplitude, go to the very end, drag to 0. And now you're going to want to add a glow on. So a good glow, another good glow you guys can add is a yellow glow that I've made. And if you want to copy the settings for it, it's right here. Now go to brightness, make sure you name it and then save the preset. Animate, go to the very end, drag, go all the way down to see glow, go to the very end, drag this to 0. I know this is an effect I add on every glow clip except shockwave effects, because it won't work. But for normal kills, and if you're adding the glow effect, make sure you add distort RGB. Okay, drag it on. Here's my settings if you want to copy. Alright, if you copied, make sure you name it, then save the preset. But go to amount, animate, go to the very end, and instead of dragging this all the way down, click Control Z if you want to undo something. Make sure you highlight over it and click 0, then enter. Alright, and then again, click Control C on the swoosh sound and add it over here. And make sure the biggest arch is on the marker. And now boom. Now you're going to want to add the transition from the beat drop clip into here. So split right before the beginning of the clip. If the clip before this has the shockwave effect, what you're gonna want to do is drag this up and then drag this. And now if you want to do the TV, if you want to do that little TV effect, what you're gonna want to do is drag this 18 frames over to the left onto the clip, and you can go ahead and delete this bottom part. It doesn't matter. And make sure as you're doing that, you click Control U, so you're not deleting the audio portion for it. And now once you have this, go to transitions and search up damaged, and you'll find BCC damage TV dissolve. Now just drag it on to the 18, and it'll give it a little TV transition into here onto the clip you just edited. If you scream in your clip, make sure you do what I said. Control U on the audio, so it's just the audio. Split, drag it up. So now you have the second clip onto the third one. Alright, so make sure you drag your third clip on. Split it right before. Make sure you split it right before the kill. And now make sure you go to your third marker and make sure you go on the marker and you make sure it shows the frame right before the pellets. Drag this all the way to the edge, and while you're at it, mark the fourth, so right here. And right now you have a good idea of where to end this, so you can end it like right around here. Now what I like to do is right click properties, uncheck maintain aspect ratio, disable resample. You don't have to do that, but that's what I like to do. And you can go here now add velocity. So right click insert envelope velocity, double click on the marker and go 1 2 3 4 5 frames to the right, double click, and then go 1 2 3 4, and then go back to the marker and then go 1 2 3 4 frames to the left, double click. Now go right click on the middle dot, set it to 200 or 175, and go to the far right dot, right click and set it to 50. I'll split right on the marker, go to crop, drag this up to the little numbers, go to the very end, drag this all the way back down. Now add shake and flicker. I already showed you my effects for both, so drag them on, go to animate, go to the very end, drag this to 0, go to flicker, add flicker on, go to animate, go to the very end, drag this to 0. And while you're at it, add the little swoosh sound, copy and paste it, and make sure on the make sure the biggest arc is right on the marker. Right now you're gonna want to add another glow. So a good glow you can add is a pink glow that I've saved. If you want to copy my settings for it, you can. Here they are. And then once you're done, make sure you name it and then save it. Go to animate, go to the very end, drag this back to 0. Search up this. Now you can add distort RGB. Search it up, drag it on, animate, go to the very end, highlight over it, and set it to 0. Alright, boom. And now a normal transition to add. Make sure you save as you're going. And now you can add a normal transition. So go to the very beginning of the clip and go 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 frames to the right. Split. Now go to the very end of the clip before it, and then go 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 frames to the left. Split. Same thing. And now what you're gonna want to do is download the preset pack in the description, and in order to download that, you're gonna need preset manager. I'm gonna have a video linked down below of how to download preset manager and how to download preset packs, linked in the description. But once you're done, go to FX, the add effects button, and now you have all these effects to choose from. Now my favorite are the RGB ones. So on the first one, you're gonna want to add bottom middle A, or whatever you want, A, but it has to be the A version. X out. Now go to the second one, FX, and make sure it's set to whatever you did but the B version. So click B, add OK, and boom, you have a clean little transition that goes like this, like that, into the kill. And boom, that's the third clip. Alright, make sure you drag the fourth clip on, and this is the final clip I'm gonna use. But go on the beat shot marker and go on the marker and make sure it's set to the frame right before the pellets, so right here. And now drag this all the way to the beginning of that. Now end it like right around here. Now what I'm gonna do is right click properties, uncheck maintain aspect ratio, and now check disable resample. Make sure you're saving as you're going. Now add velocity, same as always. Double click on marker, go 1 2 3 4 5 frames to the right, double click, then go 1. Now go back to the marker and go 1 2 3 4 frames to the left, double click, right click on the middle marker, set it to 200 or 175. Right click on the far right dot and set it to 50. Split on the marker, go to crop, drag it up to the little numbers, drag to the very end, drag it all the way back down. Now I already showed you my shake and flicker effects, but just add those on. Go to amplitude, animate, go to the very end, drag this to 0. Same for flicker, add flicker, drag it on, go to amplitude, animate, go to the very end, drag this to 0. And now add a glow, and a good glow you can add is aqua glow. Here's my settings for the aqua glow. You could set the brightness to anything you want. Here's my settings, and if you did it, make sure you name it and then save the preset. Now go to brightness, animate, go all the way down, drag it to 0, and drag this to the end, and then drag this to 0. And now for distort RGB, what I do for the aqua glow is that same settings, but you change the amount from 0.25 to 0.025 to 0.015. Now go to animate, go all the way down, and go to the very end, highlight this and set it to 0. Alright, now add the same swoosh sound, Control C, Control V. Make sure the arch is right with the marker. Save as you're going. And now for the transition, go to the very beginning of the clip and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 frames to the left. Split. Go to the very end of the clip before it and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 frames to the left again. Well, I'm sorry, this was to the right, this was to the left. And now click FX, add effects. And now this is another cool one. It's called spin. I have it included, but put the first one to the A version and the second one to the B version, and it gives it a cool little spin effect. Alright guys, now for my project and render settings. Here's my project settings. The width is 3840, height 2160 for 4K resolution, frame rate is 60. This is set to off, pixel format 8, full resolution rendering quality best, motion blur type Gaussian. This is set to none, and resample modes is set to disable resample. Now for my render settings, you can either do this in 1440p or 4K. I like to do 4K, and mine's set to frame size 4K resolution. And then profile is set to high, frame rate the highest, and all the way down here, it's set to 240,000 bitrate for each of these. Then encode mode is NV encoder, preset high quality, RC mode VBR high quality, and project, and go to the project settings, and the rendering quality is best. And yeah, that's my render settings. Alright guys, I just got finished editing the whole video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please make sure to like the video and share it to your friends if it helped you out. And yeah, thank you for watching the video. 7K soon. And alright boys, peace out.